So here we are today. I'm about to do a piece on our Get the Glow with our lovely model Dani, the other half of the Grown Up edit.
Lucky
nice for you.
Makeup free.
Yes, really, she's loving this bit. So I'll quickly get ahead so I can show you what to do and how to get this look. First of all, we're going to start with a primer. I'm using a Giorgio Armani one, which has got lovely luminous properties. It's all listed in our blog, so you can see the exact things you might need to buy. I'm using my fingers for this because I quite enjoy using them, to be honest. I find that I get a better touch, get to pull it straight into the skin. People don't realise actually how important it is to use a primer because it smooths out all your blemishes, helps fill in those pores. And the major thing about it is the fact that it actually gets your foundation to last longer.
In the summer months, could you wear this on its own without putting the foundation on top?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you could do. Some people just want it to give them some nice shimmer and just smooth out the skin. The other thing you can do is actually mix it with your foundation so that it makes it really light. So if you've got the perfect foundation, but sometimes it just feels a little bit thick in summer, then what you can do is mix it with this great primer.
Right.
And then you've almost made yourself a tinted moisturiser, so it's really light, and then you get the best of both worlds, a tiny bit of coverage and a really nice luminous skin. So next we're going to do the foundation. I've chosen Maestro Glow from Armani just because it's got a really nice oil base, so it almost aids again in that glowing skin, especially if you're kind of getting into your 30s, 40s. It can also just help keep your skin moisturised all day.
Perfect.
Now I'm going to use a brush to apply this just because Dani's skin is so amazing. You're probably not feeling that.
Really not.
It is. So I'm going to use it just because I can really brush it into the skin then, so it'll actually make it thinner. And there's another reason I want to use a brush is because I'm going to use a shade just one shade darker than Dani's actual skin colour. This is a way of just adding that little bit of extra help, but it'll be so subtle because it's going to be so thin because of the brush.
Brilliant.
So that's,
Added colour.
Yeah. Now with this you have to really pressure into the skin. Give it lots of movement. The other nice thing about this actually, what I'm going to add, is that you need very little foundation for it because it really spreads because of the layer of the primer and because of the brush. So this is the second stage of the concealer that I was saying, which is just other little tricks to show you where to put it, which just help again give you that lovely flawless skin. And today I'm using actually the airbrush concealer from Clinique, but again it will all be listed. So first of all you start off here in between the eyebrows. I always think this gives a really nice shape and definition. And then round here, around the sides of your nose, which is quite a nice place to put it just because this is often where you do seem to unusually get a bit red, or in winter get a little bit flaky. So if that is a problem at any particular time of year and your concealer's a little bit thick, then just add a tiny bit of moisturiser and it will just just thin it out a little bit and will just help moisturise those particularly dry red bits.
And do you prefer liquid concealers?
Yeah, I do generally, especially for someone like you. The time that you might need something a little bit thicker is just if you've got any particular bad blemishes, you know, any pimples, or you know, if you've particularly got quite dark, deep eye sockets, then it helps then because it will just help it stay longer and fill it a bit more. So this is just where I'm just covering a few little red patches, just a tiny little bit rashy, that's all. Just
came up for today.
Yeah, of course. Just these, getting rid of these winter months, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next stage is contour and highlight.
Oh, favourite bit.
Yes, and this isn't going to be too crazy. This is the one I'm using actually, it's Tom Ford, one of my favourites. We're just going to use the contour. It's going to be really soft for this. I've never been a fan of the harsh contour.
Kardashian.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not where we're going today.
Yeah.
So, and it's mainly just going to give you those natural places where you would tan a bit darker. So it gives a nice definition to the face. You could also use it if you wanted to narrow down your nose, down here if you needed to, or take, you know, you thought your chin was a little bit big, you could pop a little bit here, or if your forehead was high, you could pop a little bit here, but you've actually got quite a lovely oval face. So I'm just going to do a little brush just around the outer skirts just to give you that nice natural definition. Again, I'm going to use the foundation brush that I just used because then it keeps blending and blending with the makeup, so it's really natural. You can already just see a little bit difference here. It's got to be subtle on this, very subtle. You can pull out your cheekbones a little bit, so you could add maybe a tiny bit more in this area. So next is the highlight. This is one of my favourite bits. This will make your skin look even more dewy and healthy.
Amazing. Good for this time of year when it's not as well.
Yeah, so perfect. You really do need to trick it. That's exactly it. Even in the summer months, it's there naturally, isn't it, for a few hours in the morning, and then it slowly, your skin just gets more dehydrated by all the elements. Okay, so the first major place is here on top of your cheekbones. This will make it look very reflective. The next nice place is just to do it on your eyebrow bone there. Right, so the final bits are just here on the bridge of the nose. Not too far down, because that's where you'll just look all shiny. Just here, just adds that lovely little bit of reflection. And then finally here on the lip bow. Again, not too much, otherwise you could just look a bit sweaty by the end of it. Just tiny little bits on the edges of it.
No one wants a sweaty upper lip.
No, that's not a good look. So the next stage is blusher. I'm going to keep this really subtle for this look. You don't really want to be going for any Aunt Sally look. No, it's just to add that little bit of health. So I'm going to use a cream blusher, really soft pink on you. Just because I prefer cream for this look, because it keeps in theme with all this dewiness, you know, it just...
Yeah, so and it dry out.
Yeah, exactly, and it just blends really nicely. So next is the powder. For this, with your skin, again, I can use a really nice translucent one. So all it's going to do is take away shine. If you do need one with a bit more coverage, that's fine, especially if you've got like more blemishes, or it just helps set it a bit more and will give you, like I said, a bit more coverage. You don't need that, so all this is going to do is take away the shine. So I'm going to show you where to do it, because you actually don't want to do it anywhere around this area, because this is where you want the shine and the dewiness. So all we're going to do is do it to stop you looking sweaty, basically. Yeah, nice.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that is definitely a good thing. So the main areas around the nose and the upper lip. You can also put a little bit under your eyes if you need to, just to help set that concealer, especially if that's where your problem area has been. The other place which is nice is just here, around your chin. That tends to show up quite nicely when you have your picture taken. And then the final place I would put it is here, just in between your eyebrows. So it's basically the T-zone.
Yeah.
If you just think
that's a good way to remember.
Yeah, it makes it easy, right? Next, the eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, this is nice actually for this look, because you don't want to have them too made up. So with your eyes, especially in your shape, all I want to do is add a little bit more reflection in them, which is especially in the corners. So I'm using a paint pot from MAC, which is like really nice pale sort of peachy pink with lots of shimmer in it, so it will really make your eyes come alive without adding too much makeup, so you don't feel too caked.
Yeah, and quite summery.
Yeah, exactly, really bright and natural. Okay, so do you want to close first? So add a little bit on the lower lid. This is a really nice place. You can use a brush or your fingers. I like to use both because I'm awkward. So like I said, just a little bit on the lower lid. It's quite nice this as well, because you don't have to be too specific.
Just smudge it in.
Yeah, because you kind of can't tell if you go a bit wrong, so don't worry too much about it. The other place that can be quite nice is just here in the corner. So for this, I'm just going to get you to look up, Dani. That's it. And that's it. And now I'll do the other eye. Right, so to finish the eyes, a little bit of mascara, but first of all we need to use the eyelash curlers. These are so important. They kind of really open the windows up to your soul. You know, they'll make your eyes look amazing. So if you just want to look down for me, Dani. These are Shuamora, I think the best you can buy. They may seem a bit expensive, £20, but they're worth every penny. Next, mascara. This is a Benefit one, which has just been sent to me. I love it. So if you just want to look down for me, that's it. You can just lift your eye. This very light, soft strokes, just so they look really nice and natural.
Do you apply to top and bottom lashes, or just the top?
Depends on your eye shape and what look you want to achieve. With you, I am going to do a little bit on the bottom, just to make them look all, just sort of to add more definition to your eye, really. So the next stage is your lips. So this is just going to be a really nice natural pink. So they just look like your lips have been bitten and just got a nice little bit of moisturiser on top. So I'm going to use a MAC one, and it's called Velvet Teddy, which would be a really nice colour for you. You can now use a brush or your finger. Again, it's quite, you know, if it's your own lipstick, there's nothing wrong with using finger, and it helps just melt it into the lips then, so it's almost, you know, part of them instead of a, you know, a full-on coat. So just pat it in. Now just going to add a tiny bit of moisture just so they look a bit more silky. Got a highlight on top. That's it. Thank you. At this point, if you think you've gone a little bit dark, you can always just block your lips. So now, just to finish off the look is the eyebrows. The reason I left them to the end with you is because yours actually don't need anything doing to them, just as maybe a tiny bit of taming.
A bit unruly today.
Just a little bit. So all we do is brush them up with a brush. Like I said, I would actually, you know, some people might need a little bit of a pencil, and with that will be on another tutorial. So there we go. That's the look complete. Get the glow.